This is just one of the dozens of operations you got to do to make one of these fucking things accurate. I'm having to turn this between centers, indexed off the chamber and the muzzle end, and I'm having to turn it re-round. All that shiny interrupted pattern you're seeing, that's just poor grinding on the part of the manufacturer. Basically all I'm doing here, let's see if we can zoom in. You see how it's kind of flashing to the left of that line? But it's a nice solid color to the right. That flashing is an interrupted cut, meaning that this wasn't perfectly round. All we're doing here is just going far enough to clean this up. We're gonna make it nice and square. We're gonna take it all the way to that shoulder right there. From there, I can polish this and take a final measurement for my ID for the barrel bushing. All right, looks like we've got it turned down to size. We're gonna have a little bit of a step right here. Let's see if we can't. You can kind of see it there. It's even hard for me to get all the way up there against it to polish it. This is post-polish. I'm not that good of a machinist. And this is an old fucking lathe. But we got it nice and smooth. Got one dimension all the way across. Looking like, let's see here. 568. Showing about 568. Checking another spot. Yep, 568. Looking at 568 on the ID. Now, what we have to do, we've got this beautiful piece of W1 tool steel, and we are going to make the bushing that's going to thread onto here, index on this face, because I've still got to go and clean this face up and make it this face right here that I'm butting up against. Let's get zoomed in. I still have to take this face that I'm tapping here and make it concentric to the bore. So I'm going to go ahead and touch that face. I'd love to come back through and chase these threads, but I'm just going to have to leave it loose and index off of this shoulder instead. But this will allow me to cut the ID of this to 560, I don't know, 7? No, so you've got 568, do 569, 570 on the internal here. And then I can also cut my half by 28 threads. And then what I'm going to do is chuck that whole situation in this little round collet holder that I made. I'm going to bump it around until this face right here comes on dead nuts, because I know it is to the bore. So I'll bump it around until I get this centered. And then from there I can bring in my tailstock. I can either do a facing cut if I need to and just face up to the live center on the tailstock. I'm not afraid to damage it. And then from there, I can come back and I can cut my 11-degree target crown, and then I can chase it back and then cut my taper in on it, which only about what my finger covers right here is going to need to have a bushing on it. The rest of this is all going to be taper so it doesn't beat the slide up and has a smooth transition into that lockup phase. So we're going to do our best to make this mated as one, because I want to be able to put the barrel in, the slide back, put on the barrel bushing, and then cinch it back down closed. Hopefully that's where we're going to get. And this is where we are now. I made this bushing. I did the half by 28 thread. It's only about, I'd say a little over quarter inch long, maybe almost a third of an inch long. This, as you can see, it looks like there's a gap. Let's see if we can't enhance. There's actually not a gap there. That's a chamfer. This is almost a one-to-one direct fit. And it'll be really interesting to see how this works out whenever the barrel gets hot. So I do have to cut some clearance in there. Calculations are saying it's not going to be all that much. I've had to kick my compound way over just so I could clear my live center. I didn't feel like cutting a center. So now the next job is to cut this down to the nominal dimension that I need for the slide. Now this is just held in with friction, nothing else. It's indexed off the shoulder portion of the chamber itself. Not the best way to go about this, because if it spins it could booger up the chamber really bad, but I'm taking really light passes. I've got all night, so I'm just going to zip, 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 10 thousandths at a time off of it. There's lots of pressure going on right here. This is mild steel. This is hardened stainless steel. I could tell just by cutting it before it was a pain in the ass. And this is after 20 minutes of polishing. You can see that it takes a while to really wear this stuff down. This is annealed tool steel, so it's super soft. And this is a hellaciously sharp aluminum bit. So shouldn't have to worry too much about that. OGs will recognize the sound in the background. Where's it at? There it is. To everyone who said it was going to be a piece of shit and fall apart, this is year, I don't know, 1, 2, something like that. And she's still cutting. As a matter of fact, it just finished. They cut that coupler off. And here we are. I know you guys like to see the machining processes, but I'm not set up for that yet. As you can see, we've got about a 5-degree, here's non-damaged finger. We have about a 5-degree ramp right here. It's nice and smoothed over. All the edges are broken. This leading edge has been broken. This does not grab whenever you run your finger over it, so it's nice and slicked up. Let's get nice and close here. Oh, come on. You can focus that close. You just showed you could. Yeah, you can see it there. I'm going to have to take it off, and I'll have to polish it up a little bit and round that out because you can kind of see those wispies happening. Damn, how many fucking cameras are you going to change between? Yeah, you can see those little wisps that are happening. So that's going to have to come off and be hand polished, but that's okay. I don't mind that. That's an easy enough thing to pull off. Now all it's left to do is cut the crown. I leave these a little bit on the tall side. You can see the muzzle there and how much needs to come off. But that's easy enough done. I can do that. You can see the taper here. And when the gun slams closed, it indexes itself off of this bushing.